question I always get asked is like, who taught me how to DJ? And that answer is a very special story to me because to give you some backstory, right, for my DJs that came from, again, learning on vinyl like myself, there were different levels of turntables. So there's like Gemini turntables, which is like the starter, belt drive, it's not literally direct drive, like Techniques turntables, which are like, the standard if you're a DJ. Now here's the funny thing, right? Before I even dive into how did I learn how to DJ and how to mix, I want you guys to think about this, right? In the times of when you want to become a DJ, again, you're excited to play music. You're like, yo, I want to do this thing. I want to learn. But you're not thinking, yo, the DJ equipment costs like the same amount as furniture. You know what I'm saying? Like your mom, imagine me now. I'm 10 years old, 11 years old, asking my mom and my dad for turntables. And they're looking at me like, you want us to spend $500 for you to learn to do this, this thing? You know what I mean? And obviously I didn't understand at that age how much equipment actually costs. Like how much money you actually have to spend on turntables, a mixer, slip mats, needles, wires for your amps to your speakers, the speakers. I'm young. I'm just excited from being a DJ, listening to all these legendary people like Massive B, Road International, Funk Master Flex, playing whatever. It sounded like playing whatever they want on the radio and making it sound so fun. And I wanted to, do that thing since the age of 8 years old. So again, imagine me for years now. I'm bugging my parents. I want to be a DJ. I want to be a mix. Now I'm going to record stores. Now I'm going to electronic stores, Radio Shack, stuff like that back in the days. Beach Street, just to see the equipment with my own two eyes, because I'm hearing it on the radio, but I can't see it because I'm young. Finally, my parents are taking me to these places. We're going downtown Brooklyn. I'm getting to see DJs in there playing music with my own two eyes, and I was infatuated by it. So now fast forward now, my dad finally, I'm in junior high school. I'm like, finally, my dad is like, yo, I'm gonna get you these starter pack turntables. I'm like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can hook it up to the amp that my dad found, which is another crazy story. Boom, like I said, I remember it was Christmas Day. And I am basically, here's the dope thing now. The first records that I got with the starter pack was the Showtime rhythm, which is one of my favorite rhythms of all time. All right, so I'm there with the Showtime rhythm, and basically I just got the Showtime juggling and the Showtime XL, which at the time I didn't know it was two different versions, and on the other side had a whole other rhythm. I didn't even realize that because again, I'm young, I don't know. So I'm playing the Showtime rhythm back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm talking about for hours. I got my starter pack, let's say at 2:30 in the afternoon for Christmas as a big surprise. We went down to Queens Boulevard on Jamaica Ave, and we went around to a few spots, and we just looking at the price. We comparing prices because you in New York City, you gotta, when you in Jamaica, you gotta go see who got the best price. You know what I'm saying? And it's Christmas Day. You know what I mean? Boom, we go down there, we get it, and I come home around 5 o'clock. You eat dinner, and I'm fiending to go touch these turntables, fiending. And like I said, for 5 hours, I am playing the Showtime rhythm because fortunate my dad was smart enough to get 2 of the 12-inch of the same rhythm and then 1 of the Bashment juggling. For those who know about the Showtime rhythm, there was 2 12-inches with the whole rhythm. Right? So, mind you, prior to this, I am basically only messing around at friends' house, and I'll get into that later. But to get to the point of the story, I'm messing with the Showtime rhythm. My dad comes out and he's just like, yo, bro, I am tired of hearing you play the same rhythm over and over. Mind, this is 5-6 hours. Mind you, I'm so infatuated Because obviously, you know, the process of setting it up, you know, figuring out on my own, because my dad just gave it to me and I just had to figure out how to set it. He was like, you figure it out, you'll figure it out. I figured out what went wet, you know, left was left wire, white, put on a needle. Once I put it on, it's live. I put it on this side, I turn it up. I figured out how to get it on my own. Like I said, I'm playing this one rhythm for hours and hours and hours. Finally, when my dad is like, yo, all right, take this shit off, nigga. Go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest with you guys. I did not. I felt like I was playing for 20 minutes. I was playing for 5 hours, but it felt like I was playing this, trying to figure out how to mix for 20 minutes. That's what it felt like. And my dad is like, yo, turn it up, turn it up. So he kept coming out telling me, yo, turn it. You know, your dad is like, at the third time, he's like, all right, he's fed up. And for some reason, when I'm like, all right, let me just figure out this last thing, I realized that Dave Kelly put a count in the beginning of the beat where it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the beat would come on. So when I realized that, only because, like, and this is a true story. This is exactly how I learned how to DJ. Like, I remember like it was yesterday. Like, I'm turned around looking at my dad because he's like, come on, turn it off. And I'm like, all right, let me just try this one last thing. And I had the needle up in my hand. So whatever song was playing on the other side, for whatever reason, when I dropped the needle, it went on the count. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it went on. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I stopped it, I did it again, and I listened to it, to the count. And in that moment, I'm realizing I'm so infatuated with the knobs and with trying to do all of these cool shit, like trying to sound like what I'm hearing, that I'm just not doing the very basic thing of just listening to the records and paying attention to the counts. That's the simple part. And then I played the same song over and over, and it was like bum, 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 and then the beat came on. So I'm like, wait a minute. Went to the other song. I'm like, oh, I went through all the songs and I realized all these songs has this count. And then some just start with the right on the count. So when I noticed that, I'm like, okay, wait. So then what I did is I started both songs at the same time, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. So this is how I get the songs to stay, and I gotta kind of like bend the pitch a little bit. All right, this is how I get the songs to start at the same time. So then I started the song on the right over, and then I kept it at that part to like start the song. So then, because if you know the Showtime rhythm, it got a part where it go boom, 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 and then the beat starts over again. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just match those parts to see how it's going to go together. So I listen, and then I'm like, all right, he says this, listen to the Mr. Easy song, Bashment, that song. You realize, like, if you listen to the whole song, he's kind of like saying the same thing over and over and over. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, so this is the verse, and the part when he's saying the same part that he said in the beginning, I can mix it from here. So when I did that, because I'm realizing, yo, this is what I be hearing the other DJs doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it dawned on me what I had to do in order to mix the song. So then, man, from the minute I realized that, I sped the song all the way up. And now I'm going through all the songs because I'm realizing, oh, this is what the Showtime juggling sounds like. You know what I mean? So now I went through like 3-4 songs. Man, listen to me. I basically what I'm saying is I taught myself how to DJ by one, realizing that there was a count in the song, and then also realizing in the moment through not wanting to stop DJing that there is a way to play the song in order, and I played it in the order that I remember from hearing a DJ play on radio in the same order. I'm like, oh, I remember he played this, and this. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. Man, I remember calling Trickster on the phone and saying, bro, listen to this shit. Played the song. I'm like, yo, bro, I know how to mix. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, yeah, I know how to mix. I figured it out. I remember I was so excited. And literally, because what was dope about this moment is like, Trickster mom got his turntables as well at the same time. Mind you, we talking about the Gemini starter pack, okay? For those who don't know, I'm gonna put a picture in the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. The Gemini starter pack came with like the simple scratch mixer. It just looked good, but it wasn't the one. Like, the belt constantly came off if you was too rough. You had to be stupid gentle, which also was something that was very important for me to learn in the beginning, because it then made me very light-handed as I then later went on to better turntables. But yeah, long story short, I basically taught myself how to DJ. No one taught me, and I must be very clear when I say no one taught me, because I was very curious as a kid, and my dad being into music kind of allowed me to venture in. He would be there, you know what I mean, a lot. My mom would be there, my brother would be there, all of us together would go on a lot of ventures together. And for me, if you're from the islands, you would relate to this, right? If you was born in the islands, from a young age, your parents kind of let you, go out on your own. So even when you come to America, for me, I came to America when I was young, and my parents, I was going to school by myself, from third grade. I remember niggas be getting dropped off, walk. America was different, because from America's standpoint, if you live in here, your standpoint of the environment is very different compared to, Caribbean, who's not clear that, you're in Brooklyn, can get rough around here, you letting your kid just go to the store by yourself is crazy. But that's the type of shit we was doing from young. And even as New Yorkers too, that's something, if you're from New York, you doing a lot of things outside, getting on the train, doing a lot of shit by yourself since you were young. So I've been fortunate to grow through that culture and be able to, like I said, venture out and experience things from observing DJs play music a lot. Because my dad, like I said, he partied. My family, we partied a lot. We had a lot of get-togethers. So at the end of the day, the experience of being able to play music and learn records and mix, I went out a lot and observed a lot of people doing it. So by the time I got my own turntables, I was able to utilize the experiences and say, okay, what did I hear with the records that I just bought, and re-emulate it from what I saw DJ doing, from hearing it so many times on the radio, from hearing it on all these mixes that I got on tapes. What am I going to do with the Showtime rhythm? And like I said, it was just the fact that my dad wanted me to, like I said, he wanted me to turn it off, because I've been playing the same beat, basically, if you think about it, on Christmas Day for 5 hours, 6 hours, you know what I'm saying? My brother's in the room playing video games, he was tired of it, everybody was tired of it, because again, this is the first time for me, first time ever touching my own turntables is on Christmas Day. And the first time I had other records that I was buying from before this, but the record that was this is how DJ Springer learned how to DJ. It wasn't another person saying, yo, do this and start on the one. It wasn't that. It was literally just from messing around and utilizing my experiences and recognizing, what I'm trying to emulate to figure out what DJing is to mix, this is what it is. And then, like I said, it was thankfully, if anybody knows the Showtime rhythm, I could drop the count in the beginning. There's a count right before the beat. That count helped me recognize where I need to start mixing from and how do I mix a song into it. And that's why it's one of my favorite rhythms of all time. If you check back in any time in history, that's a rhythm for me. I constantly will play it because, to me, I know why that rhythm is special to me. Again, I was learning to, and I don't want to make it seem like I wasn't messing around and fiddling around turntables prior to this, because I was. Again, I'm telling you, I was put into the environment a lot. But the very first time I learned how to DJ, and I'm saying this point blank. I've been around DJs, and I'm gonna tell you what any DJ that has been around somebody would tell you. If you're growing up around the turntable times, not everybody knew how to mix. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing about vinyl and that time that people don't talk about it. But back in those days, if there'd be people with large scale of records and sound systems and all of that, but when you check how they play, they're just playing music the real organic way, not necessarily mixing. And I've been around a lot of that too, and I learned what I did not want to identify as when in terms of how I wanted to sound as a DJ. Because again, I'm young in Brooklyn, fortunate enough to grow up on Eastern Parkway, which I'm gonna dive into that right now, because I'm realizing as I'm speaking about the first time I played, there's a lot of things before it that I'm not highlighting. So before I learned how to mix, right? Now I want to go back to when I first came to Brooklyn, was in Crown Heights. I was living on Eastern Parkway, 426 Eastern Parkway, right? And at 426 Eastern Parkway, there was a sound called Emperor Star. Okay, shout out to Super Brad, shout out to Shanti Killer, shout out to Wayne. Like when I was 8, I would say in the first 2 weeks of me living with my grandma, I'm talking about me, my mom, my dad, my little brother who was 3. We all came here. It was at my grandmother's spot. And like within the first 2 to 3 weeks, like there was a dude named Wayne upstairs. His dad, him, like they would DJ, and mind you, they had techniques, right? Now mind you, this is me at 8. I'm going now, like, because me and my older cousins who's friends with Wayne, they're the same age, I'm able to go hang with them because obviously, I'm the new little cousin from Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? And they taking me upstairs to Wayne, who play music. So, and I ain't gonna lie, Wayne's sound setup upstairs on the 6th floor, and Brad, if you know, Brad knows. And I hope Super Brad can comment about this. Clean little setup upstairs, you know what I'm saying? And then also on my floor, on the 4th floor, like if anyone knows how a typical 6-story apartment building is, like when I get off the elevator, I have to go past a dude who has like 4 18s, 2 double 15s, 2 12s horns in his living room. You hear what I'm telling you? In his living room, and he's playing music every weekend, and you can hear him in the whole building. Okay, you hear this is what I'm experiencing at 8 years old, every day for at least a year. Because we stayed with my grandma for like about a year before I moved to East New York. You know what I mean? I went to PS 161 in Crown Heights. So shout out to anybody that went to PS 161. Fun fact, that's why, when I talk about the vinyls of like Ethiopian Taste and 742 Albers on Nostrand, and shout out to Ricky Indian, because Ricky Indian was a DJ inside of the record store. And again, people, I'm telling you, I am in the 3rd and 4th grade going to the record store, and Ricky Indian is in there playing music. Chutney Shatta was in this. This is when Chutney Shatta had dreads. You know what I'm saying? I was in these record stores after school, going in there, and I'm just listening to music. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm doing after school. When all these kids is eating candy and chasing after girls and going to play video games in the arcade, Springer was in the record store just sitting there listening to the DJ play music. You know what I mean? Watching you. So this is why I'm shouting these people out, because mind you, I'm doing this for years. From every day, because I went to PS 161 for the 3rd and 4th grade, and this is where me and DJ Trickster met. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to DJ Trickster. Trickster knows the story. Like, I think he was fresh from Grenada, and I was fresh from Trinidad. He was in Grenada with his grandma for a year. He went to school in Grenada, and then he came up. So like we kind of just, I don't know. We just connected for whatever reason. I fresh from Trinidad. His family's from Trinidad as well. And we was friends from since then. So again, he can contest, nigga. We was in the record stores. And this is where even Trooper comes in too, because when Trooper came from Jamaica, you know what I'm saying, he linked with us too. And again, we was going to them record stores in like junior high school and high school together. You know what I mean? So before King Tribes, you know, it was what again I'm pointing out to you guys is from 3rd grade, the music bug between Trickster and myself was there. Alright? His family, his friends, environment was doing house parties. DJs was around. We had DJs on Bedford Avenue. Shout out to all of Bedford Avenue. Because again, when I say I'm from East New York and my dub plates, it's because I've lived in East New York more than I lived in Crown Heights. But for those who know, like Crown Heights is where I first was always hanging out. And again, 8 and 9 years old, I'm in that Crown Heights party scene young. You know, Eastern Parkway. You know, trucks passing, block parties. I can name the bowling alley. Look, I was partying in Brooklyn when the bowling alley was on Bedford. And that's just to tell you how long ago I'm talking about. For those who know Crown Heights, Brooklyn, right? What I'm saying is my music experience started when both like that. If you know the bowling alley on Bedford, if you was actually in that bowling, because that's when Trickster, myself, we would play like basketball on the crates on that little bell on the building. Like I can tell you memories of I was outside in party environments since then. You know, so we're not even gonna talk about flex. We're not gonna start that conversation yet. Not yet. I'm just saying, before I even got them started turntables in my crib, everything that I just said, I was outside in those environments. Fortunate, you know, I'm super thankful for it. You know, I'm glad that we were so protected and got to enjoy a lot of raw experiences in terms of seeing other DJs perform at high levels from young. So being around that was also adding to the bug of I need turntables. You know what I'm saying? I could even talk about Frankie. Shout out to Frankie. I think Frankie was like the first time we saw, I think it was the direct drive technique. I think his dad had some really good techniques. You know what I mean? We should try to figure out how to DJ by him. So again, this is before I got my turntable. So I don't want to make it seem like the attempts wasn't there and wasn't tried and I wasn't put in the environment to figure it out. I was tried in every which way. You know what I mean? This nigga parking mad close. Anyway, I guess that's enough of my rant for now. But yeah, like I said, that's that bug for DJing, like I said, from 8 years old. That shit was on fire from the minute I got to Crown Heights. The environment that I was in, the places I was hanging out, people I was with, partying with, from then all the way up to, 21, 22. It was all that experience in New York City that fueled a lot of things, man. Again, we're not gonna get into the flex things and none of that yet, but yeah, definitely taught myself how to DJ, just by observing and watching others work. It and that's what's so beautiful about DJing for me. It's just like when you think about, there's so many ways to learn and there's so many skills within that. But again, what DJing is, it's a dope thing that I've grown through and learned and experienced again with learning how to mix. It was a crazy journey. But yeah, taught myself.